I never thought I'd be 53 years old delivering Taco Bell in my son's car and praying that I make enough money for groceries. But here we are. Almost didn't make this video because saying this stuff out loud is embarrassing. Not YouTube embarrassing, like real life embarrassing. The kind of embarrassing that keeps you awake at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling and thinking, how did my life end up here? 2 years ago, I thought my life was set. I had a career, a future, a 401k, health insurance, life insurance, good work friends. I thought I'd stay at that company until I retired, and then everything blew up. Not because I wanted some exciting new chapter in my life, not because I was chasing my dreams, not because I needed a fresh start. I left my job because of a problem that I was not comfortable with, and it was known and nothing was done about it. I got to a point where I had no other option to leave but to leave. And when you're over 50, you realize the world does not have much patience for you anymore. People say, you'll find something, everything happens for a reason, this could be a blessing in disguise. And honestly, I told myself all those things too. I was so sure with my experience, I would find a similar job pretty quickly, but no. I burned through my savings and my 401k just trying to pay bills and survive. But yes, eventually I had to sell my car, which is my biggest regret, honestly, because without a car, there's not too much you can do. But now I live in a small bedroom in my son's house. And before somebody says I should be grateful, I am. I am grateful to my son. I know I could be in a much worse situation, and there are people in much worse situations than I am. So now I DoorDash. I use my son's car when I can, usually 2 to 3 hours a day after my son gets off work. There's something deeply humbling about sitting in a parking lot, waiting for an order, waiting for a DoorDash order, and thinking, I did everything right. I did what you're supposed to do. At least I thought I did. I worked hard. I stayed loyal, planned for retirement, and somehow I still ended up here, even though I thought I was doing everything right. And that's what scares me the most, because I know I'm not the only person this has happened to. I think there are a lot of people in this economy right now quietly falling apart, especially people my age, people who thought they were close to safety until one thing happened and suddenly everything collapsed. And the worst part of it is you start to feel invisible. You walk into interviews and you can feel them deciding before you even sit down. You're too old. You're too tired. Too experienced. Too expensive. Not worth training. Or the only jobs available are just physically exhausting jobs that my body can't keep up with anymore. I really did try. I took jobs I hated, took jobs that were physically hard because I was scared, kept trying to convince myself I could survive like that for another 10 years. But mentally, I was drowning. Eventually, I realized something terrifying, that nobody is coming to save me. Not a company, not retirement, not some magical opportunity. If my life is going to change, I have to build something myself, which is why I started this YouTube channel. Saying that out loud sounds really ridiculous sometimes, because when you think of YouTubers, you picture young creators with fancy cameras and perfect editing and aesthetically pleasing apartments. Meanwhile, I'm over here recording videos while trying not to wake people up in somebody else's house. But this channel matters to me more than people probably realize, because this isn't a hobby, this is survival. This is me trying to build a future out of what's left. And honestly, that pressure is terrifying, because if this fails, I genuinely don't know what comes next. That's hard to admit, but I promised myself if I was going to do this channel, I was going to tell the truth. Not fake positivity, not millionaire mindset nonsense, not pretending, everything happens for a reason. Sometimes life completely wrecks your plans. Sometimes you lose the career you thought you'd retire from. Sometimes your family goes through things that break your heart. My daughter has struggled with substance abuse for years, since she was a teenager. She lost custody of her 4 children. My grandkids have been in foster care, and we haven't seen them in over a year. That kind of pain changes you. She's sober now. She's working. She's trying to get her kids back, but it's going to be an extremely long road. We don't know how long it's going to be before we can see them again. And I'm proud of her for fighting her way forward. She's worked extremely hard, and I think that's what this season of life is for a lot of us. Just fighting our way forward. Not gracefully, not perfectly, just refusing to completely give up. And if she can do that, so can I. So maybe that's why I wanted to make this video, because I know somebody watching this feels ashamed of where they are too. Maybe you lost a job. Maybe your life looks nothing like you imagined. Maybe everyone around you thinks you should have it figured out by now because of your age. I get it. I really do. But I also think there's something powerful about refusing to disappear. Even when your life gets smaller, even when people stop expecting much out of you, even when you're scared all the time. And yeah, I'm scared all the time. Scared this won't work. Scared I'll never recover financially. Scared I'll never own a home again. Scared I'll always feel behind. And I'm an introvert by nature, so putting myself out here like this is absolutely terrifying, but I'm doing it anyway. That's what this channel is about. Not fake success, just real life, real struggle, real rebuilding, one video at a time. And maybe one day I'll look back at this video from my own place with my own car, knowing I somehow rebuilt my life from this tiny bedroom. I don't know if that'll happen, but I know doing nothing guarantees it won't happen. So here I am, 53 years old, DoorDashing for income, starting a YouTube channel because I ran out of other options. And weirdly, for the first time in a long time, I feel a tiny bit hopeful.